Good evening, everybody. What's up? This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar, back at it again. I want to first give a shout out to all the customers of the Afrikansuperstar.com. Much love to the customers that have been shopping with us for over 3 good years now. No complaints, great quality products. Please make sure you stop by the website, and it's a great way to support. Also want to give a big shout out to our members only who support the channel on a monthly basis. Special shout out to GK today. She's one of our members only. And she actually, what I'm going to get to next, hello. She contacted me because she's already put in her votes for my nomination, my award nomination, in regards to the music project and all the African Superstar music lovers. I have recently been nominated for the best emerging female vocalist here in Ghana. The voting is now open from April 1st all the way up until April 30th. And the information is on the community tab. I'm also going to place the link here for anybody who is prepared to vote. Now, for those of you guys in Ghana, there's a direct prompt that you can vote off your phone. You can purchase as many votes as you would like. They're only 60 pesos, which is like 60 cents or 60 pence, you know, per vote. So we definitely want to take the award home. Hello. We want to take the award home. I'm counting on the African Superstar family to show up and show out. Let's go ahead and do that. The official award ceremony is on the 5th of May. Obviously, I'm nominated, so I'll be in the building. I'm going to walk the red carpet and be looking fabulous. Yes. But we need to make sure that we bring home the award. So please, 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 you have a month to do it, but I recommend get them in as soon as you can. I'll be giving you guys updates. I believe I can see the tally. So I'm going to wait till Friday and give you guys the first update as to how we are faring in our category. And obviously we need to bring it home. Yes, family. So big shout outs to, I heard already from Honesty. I heard from a GK, a lot of people that are on my Facebook. Almost immediately I posted it. People were already submitting their votes. I actually got 500 votes from Dr. Lincoln, my very good friend in Abuja. So he sent 500 votes already. So guys, you know, let's get on it. Today I want to talk about this topic. Hello. Wow, we have 14 of you guys here. Please make sure that you're on code. Let me greet the first of you there. Please, the protocols are, yes, like the stream, drop a message. You can also support, yes, and share the video if you are so inclined. What's up, Marie? And Black Beauty Always are in the building. And again, the link for the voting, yes. So this is the link for the voting. For those of you guys that are international, this is how you will have to do it. Now, again, it is pay per vote. Yes. So, you know, but it's only like 60 pesos, which I'm sure is probably just like a couple cents for those of you guys in America and those of you guys in the UK. For those of you that are in Ghana, you can go to the community tab. There's a prompt that you can just do it on your phone via mobile money. So a big shout out to the family. Please make sure that you guys support, and let's do this. All right, let's get into the topic. Today's topic is Ghanaians should not allow Americans to destroy their culture and their way of life. So as many of you guys know, Vice President of the US has been in Ghana. I'm not sure if she's still here or what the situation is. I know she was here last week, and there was kind of some controversies with her being here. First of all, they actually put, as they claim, the U.S. flag and the Ghana flag on the Jubilee House, which the Jubilee House is the state house. It's comparable to like the White House here in Ghana. And they colored it like so, and it really resembled a rainbow. If you guys have not seen it, let me see if I can get the picture of it up for you. I posted about it on my community tab, also on Facebook, because it was absolutely ridiculous. It was absolutely inappropriate. They're going to tell you, oh, that's just the American flag and the Ghana flag. But one has to question And it's quite a statement to put it on our state house. Now, obviously in Ghana, we voted last year to, not kind of approve that lifestyle. There are some consequences if you are practicing. I know they tried to set up an LGBTQ office here that was burned down. And they have really, really, really been trying to integrate the idea and get footing over here. And I think it's quite contradictory considering that, the West is in shambles. Every which way you look at the West, you look at it socially, you look at it morally, you look at it financially, you look at it politically, you look at the racial climate, safety. You know what I mean? The West is severely challenged. And in my opinion, the West should be busy trying to figure out how to sort out issues in their own country rather than directing and trying to, meddle in other people's affairs. And that's one thing I really don't understand personally about like the LGBT community is it's extremely aggressive. It's extremely predatory. How you choose to practice your personal life and your sexuality, nobody can really dictate that to you. But it's the act of influencing others and making it by force in other countries and other cultures where it's not celebrated, it's not tolerated, it's not promoted, and you're trying to kind of put that in. And I just want to say that Ghanaians should be making their stand very clear on this. Because, again, the West really doesn't have any boundaries. It's literally like a cancer. When you start giving entrance to certain things, it just becomes something else. I remember when I was, for instance, a young person going to school back in those days, homosexuality was something that was very taboo, in America. Like nobody wanted to be that way. Nobody wanted to be called that, it was kind of an insult if people would be like, oh, you're gay or whatever, that kind of thing. But I saw gradually, things changed and blah, blah, blah. You started seeing more representation of them in the media, this kind of stuff. And now when we look at where we have graduated to in the West, we've gone from, homosexuality being the elephant in the room, and now we've graduated into transgenderism now. You know what I mean? So my point is that it's literally like you give a person an inch and it takes a mile. And once you start opening the doors for these things and you start being tolerant of these things, they become a cancer to your community. And when we actually look at it, because some people say, well, Gina, people can love who they want and they can do whatever. At the end of the day, all right, let me just state this for the complete record. I am for the growth and edification of the Black community. Okay. The only way to continue our species of people is when males and females, both physically or scientifically connect and create a child. That's how it happens. Homosexuality, transgenderism, and these kind of things, these are not for the perpetuation of the Black family. So it's not anything that I personally can approve or condone. I believe that there's a specific reason why these campaigns have been strategically aimed at our community, namely the Black male. In the West, you can see that the Black male is the poster child for the homosexual person now. Transgenderism. You see all these homosexual entertainers, musicians, and actors. They just get so much sunshine, spotlight. There's this one transgender person. I can't think of the name, but was on a TV series, I believe a Netflix series. And they're always giving a lot of shine to this particular transgender person, a male that dresses like a woman or is appearing as a woman. And they are essentially promoting this, in addition to the instability of the current generation. All right. The current generation is very impressionable. The current generation in many fronts is severely challenged with their home environments and their mental well-being and their self-esteem. So they're particularly vulnerable for these type of campaigns. You know, once upon a time, people had projected certain things to you. Yeah, I'm talking about that one. I'm talking about that transgender person that's on that show, or was on that show. I don't know. Once upon a time, people could project onto you that, oh, you were this or you were that. But because you were self-aware, you would say, nah, you know what I mean? That's not true. You know what I mean? You could easily reject it because this current generation has so many emotional voids. It's completely obvious. So I think obviously when you look at it in a broader spectrum, okay, let's first destabilize the family. Okay, let's attack the family unit. All right. Once we attack the family unit, we have a vulnerable population. Okay, that's going to become consumers. They're going to be mentally unwell, so we can utilize the pharmaceuticals on them. We're also going to alter, you know, their logic and their health and their well-being by giving them poisonous food. Okay, we're going to influence them through toxic media. Hello. And we're going to give them these influences to make them believe that, hey, this is who you are and this is that. Quite frankly, you know, I mean, I just have to be honest, guys. If you emotionally do not align with who you are anatomically, that is a mental illness. I'm sorry. You know, you were born a male or female. That's who you are. That's one of those irrefutable truths that you cannot change. All right. You may not agree with the decision of what you became or who you are. You know, you may feel strongly about it. You know, there are some ladies who wish they were men. They wish they had the control of a man or the presence of a man or, you know, all the favors of a man, whatever. There may be men that wish they were women. But once you are born, biologically, you are what you are. Your body will always function that way. When you die and they put you in the ground and then 100 years from now, they dig you up, your body's going to indicate you are male or female. That is the irrefutable truth. The fact that we give a lot of attention to allowing these people to kind of dictate their gender and giving them so much preference in society to deceive others, to force others to address them as they are not, you know, it's crazy. And I'm just saying, as someone who is a product of the West that never really condoned such things, the way that it just took over everything, you know, the way it has just taken over everything. I believe that Ghanaians and other African nations have to take a very strong stance on rejecting these themes in their nations, you know, period, point blank. America needs to focus on their own issues. They have insurmountable problems going on in their countries right now. The last thing they need to be worried about is human rights. And what a contradiction where Black people are not protected and gunned down, face racial crimes all the time. That's not a priority, it seems like. The LGBTQ is a bigger priority than the racial chaos, police brutality. It's absolutely insane. I want to play a clip that I ran across that kind of motivated this topic. What's up, family? I'm going to do shout outs after this. Please make sure you are on code. You can support the stream if you support this message. Hello. Ghanaians and other African nations need to take a strong position. Okay. They need to let the West know, hey, okay, in our lands, this is how we do it. Okay. If, you know, for instance, there are many people in that community around the world, go ahead and welcome them to America. America is large enough to contain them. If that's the nation you want you know, you want your nation to be a safe haven for those folks and for them to feel happy and live the life they want to live, then that's fine. But I believe going to other nations where it is not a practice or not a, you know, pronounced practice, such as, I mean, and it's very interesting. They wouldn't dare go to the Middle East and try to preach this. They wouldn't dare go to China or Russia or Korea and say, hey guys, you need to adapt and adopt and blah, blah, blah. But here on the continent, they want to make that a priority. All right, let me go ahead and share this clip.
Kamala Harris is entitled to her opinion, the same way you're entitled to your opinion, the same way I hold the opinion that she and the American government are a bunch of cowards, you know, and that they have no rights to talk about human rights because they're the biggest abusers of human rights. Child rights are equally human rights. And yesterday, 2 hours after that press conference with the president, a 28-year-old gun woman walked into an American school and killed 3 American children and killed 3 American teachers. It's the rights, one of the fundamental basic rights of any human being is the right to life. The American government, in which Kamala Harris is vice president, is failing to take decisive action on gun control. And so people who should not have access to weapons are having access to assault rifles and killing innocent children and teachers in America. And the vice president of that country wants to come and teach us human rights. I mean, the irony of it. She's a person of color. But for being vice president, what happened to George Floyd could easily have happened to her, or any of the several people who have been killed in America by errant white policemen, which has led to the Black Lives Matter issue. If people have to demonstrate to let the American government know that Black Lives Matter, they need help from us. I've stated on record that myself and my colleagues are very willing to engage the American government and the U.S. Congress to help them shape laws that will clamp down on gun violence, because they really have need for it. But it's the hypocrisy of the U.S., where they call homosexuality a human rights issue in Africa, but yet they are doing business with countries where homosexuality is frowned upon. Over $1 billion of military hardware is sold to Qatar almost on a yearly basis. In Qatar, homosexuality is punished by death, not imprisonment. Why are they not threatening Qatar? One of the biggest trading partners of the United States government is Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, it's punished by death. Why are they not threatening them? Why are they not threatening Russia? Then they come to Ghana and Africa and they want to come and threaten us with LGBTQ. The American government is a bunch of hypocrites. If they really want to flex their muscle, they should go and flex their muscle on Russia, India, China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, the places where they are selling weapons to.
Yes, so that was some thoughts. He is a Ghanaian politician, and he was kind of speaking. And I'm actually really happy to see Continentals, you know, kind of speaking out against this. But again, I preface, this is why, guys, this is why it is very important that we occupy. Okay, one thing that the LGBTQ has in their advantage is money. Okay, they got a lot of money. They have a lot of influential people. They have, you know, business relationships and political relationships. Okay. They can easily infiltrate using money. That's how they have been able to get so much exposure. And, you know, we see this sentiment from Ghanaians around the world. Oh, no, 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 that could never happen here. You know, blah, blah, blah. Listen. Let me tell you, the only way to prevent things from happening is to stop it from happening. The attitude that is just like outlandish and, oh, no, it could never happen. You know, even for instance, like if you look at this current generation, if you look at how vastly different they are from perhaps their family, okay, their parents or their grandparents, you will see gradually things change. As more and more continentals begin to migrate to the West, or give birth in the West, they start influencing your kids right away that these things are okay. The laws protect these folks out there. You can't even say anything against them without it being a problem. Okay. They can charge you. You can lose your livelihood or your image or whatever by going against them. That's the stronghold that they've already created in the West. Continentals need to realize, listen, the only way to prevent these things from taking preference in your nations is to restrict it. Okay. Simply saying, oh no, people aren't going to, because if you think about it, over 50% of the population on the continent currently is under 30. Okay. Which means those of us that are over 30 are in the other half. Okay. We're aging, people are dying, blah, 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 blah. The youth is tomorrow. The youth in many cases doesn't even share our opinion on such topics. For those of you guys that are out in the West and you have kids, they'll tell you stuff as such as, oh, love has no color. People can do what they want to do. And, that's racist. And that's bigotry. When you talk about human nature, when you talk about heterosexual relationships and you talk about the negativity of these influences, your kids and young people in your life may not even agree. So what I'm saying is, look, Africans need to be prepared to set up the boundaries, okay? These people will try to infiltrate using money. It's a fact, okay? They will infiltrate with the media. They will infiltrate through education, okay? For what I understand, in the UK, they now are having drag queens go to the schools and do story times with the young people. Okay. They are exposing your young, impressionable children to that lifestyle and normalizing it and making it like it's normal. And all of this is what is confronting, Ghana. Ghana is the black star of Africa. Ghana is very influential. It's one of the most popular nations here on the continent. Whatever goes on here, it becomes also influential to other nations. I remember during the COVID lockdowns when Ghana was, I believe like the only country that made entry like a mandatory vaccine. I remember within a couple of days later, Kenya instituted it. You know what I mean? So it's not uncommon that Ghana can kind of set the pace. That's why they really, really, really want to get a foothold here to go out there. So yes, that's what we're talking about tonight. Please, family, what's up, family? I'm about to start my shout outs in the building. If you are here, please make sure you like the stream, support the stream. If you agree with the topic, if you like the topic, make sure you support our music project. My latest nomination, we need to bring it home. Hello. I want to bring home that award for the African Superstar family. Yes. Okay, so big shout outs to Marie in the building. This is the link. Let me put the link for those of you guys that have just joined. I was nominated for Best Female Emerging Vocalist, and I need your votes to get it. So if you are international, you will need to use the link. The votes do cost just a couple cents. You can buy as many votes as you want. A friend of mine bought 500 votes today earlier from Abuja in Nigeria. So, feel free to buff it up. I mean, the more the merrier. I just want to blow them out the water so that we can get this award and bring it home. It will be quite an accomplishment for me. And it's actually a dream of mine to go to an awards show. I've always wanted to do that. So yes, you guys can help get us there. Hello. All right, big shout outs. Black Beauty Always is in the building. Ghanaians and other Africans need to protect their culture and tradition. They don't need to have the attitude, the cavalier attitude. Oh no, it can't happen here. It can happen anywhere. Okay. Once upon a time in America, we thought it couldn't happen there. We thought, oh, this will never happen. And we see it's a slippery slope. Once one thing starts happening, then they start introducing things and they keep going further and further and furthery. You see what I mean? It's like inertia. Nothing will stop something in motion. Basically, the object will remain in motion until something stops it. So we see that they are persisting against the continent, and the continent needs to respond back with a strong response about protecting our culture and our traditions and our way of life. You know, America should worry about Americans and all the things facing Americans before they start trying to go around and tell international countries what to do. What's up, Marie? Big shout out to the family. Zoo and Shayna is in the building. Yes. Thank you so much, Zoo and Shayna. We're trying to bring home the award, so we need the family to make your presence be known. I'm almost at the 5,000 subscribers. So I think we should have it in the back. We should have it in the back. You know what I mean? So let's do it. Let's do it. What's up, Karamay? I see you in the building. APM Tim is in the building. What's up, Chantel Commentary? What's up? Well, actually, there's quite a few homosexual males that have been coming to Ghana, not just white males, okay? Some of them are members of the diaspora, you know, from the UK, Europe, America, that are now practicing that lifestyle. I've seen lots of them. Ghanaians, you know what I'm saying, that are now homosexuals and that kind of thing. Also some Nigerians, you know, are practicing that and whatnot. So it's Westerners, you know, I guess I can't categorize it as Americans purely, but the point is that we don't want that culture to prevail here. You know, many of the diasporans that are living on the continent prefer a traditional lifestyle. They moved here because of that. They brought their kids here because of that, because they didn't want those influences being prevalent in the environment where they live or where they're raising their families. So we've got to protect that safe haven. You know what I mean? Quite frankly, in my opinion, the Western world is toxic. Okay. And beyond my opinion, the dysfunction of the American people, the British people, is very evident to say that those environments are not conducive to family. They're not producing good citizens. Their folks are not happy with their quality of life. So that is an indicator that the prevailing mentalities, the way that we're doing things, is not appropriate. Why would, 50% or more of Americans be unhappy with their quality of life if they felt that they were getting what they needed? You know what I mean? And we don't want it here. We don't want it here in Ghana. Okay, we don't want it here in Ghana. I think I speak for the vast majority of Ghanaians when I say that. You know what I mean? We don't want it here. That's why it has not been already on the track. Obama legalized gay marriage during his time, which that was several years ago now. We've had 2 presidents since then. And the sentiment has remained the same on the continent, as in it's not acceptable, it's not legal, it's not prominent. I know several nations have taken strong stances. I remember that South Africa several years ago, they kind of outlawed the display of it on television. And recently we have Uganda coming out with strong legal penalties for folks that are found to be promoting it or practicing or whatever. And I know Ghana, they also had their own anti-LGBTQ bill. But what I'm saying is, oh yeah, that's what I need to show y'all too. I need to show y'all how they put the rainbow on the Jubilee House, which is the state house. Big shout out to the family. What's up, Tia Kofi? Wow, New Mexico. You're the first person from New Mexico that I'm aware of on the channel. Big shout outs to the family. Yes. I want to show you guys the Jubilee House, which is comparable to the White House here in Ghana, because they claimed that they had put the American flag and the Ghana flag side by side. But when you look at it, it looks like a rainbow to me, and it looks like a rainbow to many other people. And folks were kind of outraged by this. But that's what I'm telling you guys. They are trying to send a strong message. That's the Jubilee House. And you can see right here, this is the Ghana side and this is the American side. Wait a minute. Okay. So, you know, that looks like a rainbow. That looks like a rainbow. Whoever came up with that, that's a clever way to send a strong message. You're going to put that on the, you know, virtually the White House of Ghana when you come for a visit. And I mean, again, I refuse to believe that people are as stupid as they pretend to be. Okay. When they have to arrange these things, they got to get approvals. They got to go through people. You mean to tell me nobody said, hey, this looks like a rainbow? And we all know that America is perpetuating this LGBT to the hilt. You know, more than anybody else in the world, they are perpetuating it. So it's not uncommon. It doesn't make sense. And in my opinion, they're sending a message. They're sending a message that they are trying to get it here in Ghana, get it approved, get it prominent. And I mean, listen, again, these campaigns are designed to destroy, firstly, Black males. Okay, so if you think about it logically, the root of Black people, the root of Black males is here in Africa. Okay, this is where our people come from. This is the continent where our population is the largest in the world. Okay, if you want to eradicate something, if you're smart, okay, you go for the root. Those of you guys, shout outs to the family. Any of you guys do landscaping? Any of you guys do gardening or anything like that? I'm pretty sure you had a run-in with a dandelion or weeds or whatever. Okay, you can clip the leaves of the weed all you want, but a smart gardener knows you got to pull that sucker out. You got to get the roots of it. If you got to dig it, or you got to pull it up, and then you got to get some weed killer and really try to kill the roots to get rid of the weed. Okay, it's not a coincidence that these folks are trying to begin their footprint here on the continent in West Africa. You know what I mean? Why aren't they out in Kenya? Why don't they try that stuff in North Africa? Huh? They want to go do it in Libya? They want to go do it in Morocco? They want to go do it in Egypt? No. Hello. You know what I'm saying? They could be down in South Africa. I mean, they just got rejected in Uganda. But I mean, there's so many other countries, okay? Yet and still, they are really heavily pushing this here in Ghana, you know? So big shout outs. What's up, W in West Africa? I see you. Guys, make sure you get to the vote. Make sure you get to the vote. Those of you guys on the playback, the information is in the box below. Also on the community tab, get to the vote, okay? Put your votes in so we can bring it home. Definitely. And this is what I talked about. With the money comes nothing in life is for free. You know, so unfortunately, the Ghanaian government has been accepting aid from America and other foreign nations, and there's going to be stipulations with that. They're going to try to, you know, recoup that investment by pushing their stuff. That's why it's better, guys. I mean, I know for the vast majority of us watching, I'm preaching to the choir. We're not politicians. We're not running the countries. But quite frankly, it's better to be self-sufficient. Whenever you start taking aid, or you start taking money, or you start taking loans from these foreign countries, they're going to have stipulations, and it's probably stuff you don't want to do. Okay? That's why they dangle, you know, these benefits in front of you and say, oh yeah, we'll be happy to give you that COVID money. We'll be happy to give you aid money. We'll be happy to do this and do that. But you got to do whatever. This is the same way that these folks got their agenda across with Obama, huh? Because they supported his campaign. You know, for those of you guys that were, I was in the U.S. during the time that Barack was in control. And I remember that, you know, when he approved the gay marriage and stuff during his second term, the people that voted for him the first time were kind of confused. Like, wait a minute, you know, this is a different story. But obviously he had been, you know, heavily supported by the LGBT. So once he got elected, it came time to come a calling. Big shout outs. What's up? Nefertari says they will infiltrate by bringing celebrities that support or practice this into the country, as was done months ago. People are excited, and I'm like, WTF, money and fame make people do crazy things. Absolutely. Guys, it's the same old tricks. Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. They use the same methodology to get their agendas across that they have been doing since the beginning of time. Okay, they always use celebrities, musicians. I mean, they're virtually like puppets. They have contracts, they have endorsements, they got to do and say as they're told or whatever. Okay, they say this, they do that, they wear this, they wear that, whatever. And, you know, that's it. Media. Okay, they use media as well. And money. You know, going to fund this project, going to do this, going to build this school or library, you know. And then once they've done these things, again, those favors got to be repaid. You know, Ghanaians, you guys gotta, you know, your land right now is a total battleground. Okay. It's not nice. It's not great. I mean, I don't also love it. I've been loving Ghana for a long time before all this popularity. It kind of makes me sad at times to see what's going on. But nonetheless, the time comes in which you have to make your position be known. It's simple. You know, you can't always be moderate. You can't always be conservative. You can't always be shocked. There's times when you got to step up, stand up and say no. Okay, no, we're not going with this. No, no, no. You know, and I believe that time is right now. They will absolutely, again, Zoo and Shayna, this is a slippery slope. You know, as they start introducing perversions and they make it more socially acceptable, you're absolutely right. Because now we're living in the trans era. Okay, the trans era says, I know I look like a woman, but I really feel like a man. So now I'm going to turn into a man. Okay, we also saw a couple years ago that situation where there was a white woman who was masquerading as a black woman or a mixed race woman. Okay, she was working in the NAACP and, you know, she was like power to the people and all this stuff. Come to find out, she was busted by her own parents saying, hey, she's not mixed race. She's not black. She's a white girl. Okay. People are now having the freedom to dictate who they are, how they feel. So it's only a matter of time to say, hey, yeah, I know I'm a 55-year-old man, but I really feel like I'm 16. So if I carry on a relationship with a 14-year-old, that's acceptable because I'm not really 55. I'm really 14. And hey, you're only as young as you feel, right? And once you start introducing certain things, you can't cut it off, can you? Because now, for instance, they're making it that, you know, these trans men and women or whatever be identified as that in society. So essentially, you can let a man go into a female's toilet. You know, I know in the prison system, I know in the mental, you know, the psychiatric hospitals. We actually dealt with that when I worked at the psychiatric hospital in the UK. We had a transgender that came to our ward. I was working on a female ward, and the transgender came over to our ward, and essentially it was a male. It was a male, still had his genitalia, you know, and everything, and was in the ward with the women because that's how he feels. So it's a slippery slope. In my opinion, I mean, I guess maybe I'm black and white because I just say, well, then, stop, you know, just make the position be known. Okay, we don't want to get into that slippery slope, so we're just not going to approve any of it. Because how can I say, yeah, this is acceptable, but then this is not? You really can't get into that once you start allowing certain anomalies. So it's not far-fetched, Zoo and Shayna. It's not far-fetched at all. Big shout outs to the family. What's up? Jackie's in the building. Make sure you guys like the stream. We have over 60 of you guys here. What's up, family? Make your presence be known. Hello, like the stream. And that is it. Marie says, next thing you know, in America, some of them will be trying to make it legal for bestiality. And that is the practice of animals. Okay. So, I mean, because again, these lobby groups once one thing gets approved, okay, because also another thing with this trans movement, they're now allowing trans people to participate in sport competitions, which is crazy. They're letting men, you know, natural born men compete as women in women's competitions, completely dominating the competitions, beauty pageants and stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy. You know, people are getting cosmetic surgery and all this stuff. It's like an unfair advantage. You know, I should be able to win a beauty contest if I go do cosmetic surgery. I'm not a natural beauty. I'm not a natural born woman. You know, I'm definitely going to win the gold medal if I'm a man and I'm big and tall and strong or faster or whatever than natural born women. But I'm going to go into, I know there was a situation where even Bruce Jenner, who's now a transgender, came out and said, this is wrong. This is wrong. There was a basically a man who transgender, whatever, went and competed in a women's sporting event at the Olympics, and he won naturally. And it was an outrage because it's like, it's crazy. It's an unfair advantage. You know, you are a male and you have that competitive edge against women. That's why previously in these sporting events, men and women don't compete together. You have the male sports and the female sports, a lot of cases, you know, because they need to be competing with the audience of their peers so that it's fair. But again, all these things, you know, as they allow these things which are crazy, and we think to ourselves, this is just absolutely insane. They're legalizing it and they're, you know, making it norm. So it's just a step sway. Thank you, Prince Ayoko. He put in his 200 votes. Okay. Family, we need to bring this home. I know I can do it with y'all. I know I can do it with y'all. I want to get 10,000 votes. I think with 10,000 votes, I should be able to bring it home. So that's the goal. So, you know, those of you guys that are interested in posting your votes, for those of you guys that are international, you can click the link. Voting is from today until the 30th of April. And then the award ceremony is on the 5th of May. So for any of you guys that don't know, I was nominated for Best Emerging Female Vocalist of the Year because of For Every Action, There's a Reaction. Hello. I think that's a good time for you guys, a little commercial break. Yes, if you guys have not heard the single, I will give you a brief clip so you know this is actually the tune I was nominated for.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only African Superstar proudly presents the release of her first EP entitled For Every Action, There Is a Reaction, as well as this music video, which is available here on YouTube for the title track. The track is also available for streaming on all download platforms, and the EP is exclusively available for purchase at bandcamp.com. Please support independent artists, and please support your African Superstar. Until we meet again.
Yes, so for that track, I was actually nominated. So we want to bring it home. Okay, so thank you so much, Prince Ayoko, for getting your votes in. I know some of you guys, I heard also from Honesty. I heard also from Ajike. They've already got their votes in. Big shout out to the African Superstar family that be on code. I love y'all, man. I love y'all. You feel me? Because it shouldn't be tedious. You feel me? I'm out here, been out here for years, spending so much of my time using my likeness. I got sacked, everything for this media talking about these topics that a lot of your favorite YouTubers would not dare touch because it's not politically correct. So when I call on a family, I appreciate those of you that just assist me with whatever I have asked for. So I do want to win this award. I do want to bring it home for the family. I think that song is very prolific, the lyrics, the message, and everything like that. And it will obviously be great for the music and the brand. So I just ask you guys to bring in some votes for the cause. Big shout out to the family. What's up? Isaac Wren says, facts backed up by the truth. We don't need that in Africa, period. Orlando says gay people already exist in Ghana. Duh. Hello. Gay people are all over the world. But the difference between what is happening in America and the Western world is the prevalence and the promotion. You see, now you can't turn on TV without seeing them everywhere. Themes constantly in music, themes constantly in commercials, influencing the youth, coming to the schools with drag queens and introducing all these things to the young people. This is the promotion of that lifestyle. If you are like that, then you're like that, you know. And a lot of people that are in that lifestyle, some of them have wrestled, some of them don't even like those desires, and they wish that they were just, you know, a heterosexual, whatever. But the issue is that when people that are influential, you know, very impressionable rather, such as young people, are getting this thing heavily promoted to them. Okay, that's the problem. That's the problem. And that's what we don't want here in Ghana. And again, I know I can speak for the vast majority of Ghanaians because they've already voted it down in this country. They don't want that here. You know, most African nations don't want that here. There's a lot of space for that lifestyle and that ideology in the West. They can just be where they're at. It's not necessary for them to evangelize the whole world. And just like the gentleman said in the clip I played earlier, there are other countries in which they have business relationships in which the act of homosexuality is punishable by death. Here in Africa, that's not the case. Maybe in some northern countries where they practice Islam. You know, I know Islam has a very strict code of conduct on that. But in the other nations, you know what I mean, it's still kind of liberal. It's more or less, hey, you know, just be mindful of how you behave in public and you won't incur any consequences. But what they're doing in the West is we just don't want that here. Sorry. Big shout outs. Nefertari says, of course they exist. I mean, people are just so dumb. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta call it out. I don't I mean, it's like I've never professed that, oh, they don't exist. I've never professed that, you know. But I do believe that, you know, my personal opinion, it's an unnatural lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's an unnatural lifestyle. They cannot reproduce. It's not conducive of family or community. Okay, that's why they're marketing to, you know, some of the most eligible bachelors. Okay, it destroys your family lines. All right. And there's also a reason that they use black men as the poster child. They want to use these black men. Black men are so influential. They want to influence other black men. Okay. They don't have Latin folks up there. They don't have Indian dudes up there. They don't have Chinese dudes up there. They want to use the black as the poster child, as they do for everything they want to sell. You know, Kanye West and, you know, all these folks, Dwayne Wade and, you know, you know, they use a lot of black males to perpetuate these things. They are doing it because they want to destroy our community, and our people don't understand. I know there are, you know, there are people that, again, live and practice these lifestyles. But legalizing these things, the transgender stuff, it's all overkill. It's all too much. And again, in addition, there are so many pressing issues in America that need the attention of, for instance, the vice president, than for her to be coming here and doing controversial things in Ghana. Big shout out to the family. What's up? What's up? What's up? Facts. Monty says gay people exist everywhere on the continent. That doesn't mean they need a parade and the right to marry. I mean, he said it all. You know, he said it all. I don't even need to co-sign that. Yahweh says if USA waves some money in front of the presence of Ghana's face to change laws in Ghana for the acceptance of LGBTQ, most likely he will take the money. I mean, these politicians worldwide, certainly here on the continent, are corrupt. It's a fact. That's why I'm not talking to politicians. That's why I'm talking to Ghanaians. They need to know what's happening. You know, in my opinion, a lot of folks that I talk to or continentals, they just have a really cavalier attitude to this stuff. They don't really see the urgency. They don't really see the danger of losing the footing of their own nation. You know, and that's why I'm just coming to tell you, hey, look, as someone who's lived in America and the UK, I know what's at stake and it's important. That's why I come here and talk about it. You know, you guys need to take this seriously. You guys need to definitely set the parameters. If your politicians are doing things that you don't approve, then you need to rebel against it. Simple as that. You know, because otherwise, if it's a quiet takeover, then that's what it's going to be. Shout outs. That's the argument, y'all. I'm going to play the clip that one of the Ghanaian politicians was kind of talking about, just the double standards of Kamala coming here and talking about that. Big shout outs. What's up? And then we'll wrap up right after this. Okay. Big shout outs to the family.
Kamala Harris is entitled to her opinion, the same way you're entitled to your opinion, the same way I hold the opinion that she and the American government are a bunch of cowards, you know, and that they have no rights to talk about human rights because they're the biggest abusers of human rights. Child rights are equally human rights. And yesterday, 2 hours after that press conference with the president, a 28-year-old gun woman walked into an American school and killed 3 American children and killed 3 American teachers. It's the rights, one of the fundamental basic rights of any human being is the right to life. The American government, in which Kamala Harris is vice president, is failing to take decisive action on gun control. And so people who should not have access to weapons are having access to assault rifles and killing innocent children and teachers in America. And the vice president of that country wants to come and teach us human rights. I mean, the irony of it. She's a person of color. But for being vice president, what happened to George Floyd could easily have happened to her, or any of the several people who have been killed in America by errant white policemen, which has led to the Black Lives Matter issue. If people have to demonstrate to let the American government know that Black Lives Matter, they need help from us. I've stated on record that myself and my colleagues are very willing to engage the American government and the U.S. Congress to help them shape laws that will clamp down on gun violence, because they really have need for it. But it's the hypocrisy of the US, where they call homosexuality a human rights issue in Africa, but yet they are doing business with countries where homosexuality is frowned upon. Over $1 billion of military hardware is sold to Qatar almost on a yearly basis. In Qatar, homosexuality is punished by death, not imprisonment. Why are they not threatening Qatar? One of the biggest trading partners of the United States government is Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, it's punished by death. Why are they not threatening them? Why are they not threatening Russia? Then they come to Ghana and Africa and they want to come and threaten us with LGBTQ. The American government is a bunch of hypocrites. If they really want to flex their muscle, they should go and flex their muscle on Russia, India, China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, the places where they are selling weapons to.
Yes, guys. So again, that's a Ghanaian politician that was, you know, speaking out, and I was quite delighted to see that because, you know, again, I mean, it's serious, you know what I mean, and we definitely should not take these attacks to our way of life very casually. You know, there has to be strategy. There was a really good comment that I want to go over from Zu and Shayna. Really excellent point. Pushing hard in Africa because there's so many young people on the continent. These young people will grow up and reproduce. They don't want that. Bring the LGB and prevent them from reproducing. Absolutely. This is what I talked about earlier in this stream, as in this is the root. Okay, this is the root of our people. This is a growing population, you know, whereby some other nations, a lot of nations in the West, their birth rates are declining. The birth rates are still, you know, intact here on the continent. All they talk about in the West is what? Population control. Hello. Hello. For those of you guys that don't know, that's what the LGBTQ is about. Because the promotion of these lifestyles will decrease what? Repopulation. Why? Because transgenders cannot naturally reproduce in their situations, nor can homosexuals. The other campaign that they attack our, you know, community with is interracial. So all of these, you know, campaigns are designed to dilute, destroy, and eliminate our people. But our people want to act like, no, Gina, it's not like that. People can love who they want to love. And, you know, there's gay people all around the world. Okay, well, guess what? There's gay people all across the world, but never before has there been a legal acceptance of these lifestyles and promotion. Okay, because with that, with the promotion of it, okay, with the normalcy of it, naturally increases the participation of it. Hello. And that's why they can't just be satisfied in America. Okay, they've already destroyed the Black community in America. They've already destroyed the Black community in England. Okay, now they need to go ahead and eradicate it right from the beginning. Now they done, you know, feminize the men, and, you know, you got the passport bros looking for women leaving the country. You got the ladies leaving the country looking for men. Now they want to say, okay, hey, those folks are going to the international community. They're going to Africa looking for partners now. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and attack it at the root cause. You know, because in large part, Black men here, you know, African men on the continent, they still like having children. They still like being a part of heterosexual relationships. They still like being a part of the community and having families. You know, what many people in the West have lost interest and are no longer participating in, they still like it here. Matter of fact, Black men here on the continent still like Black women. Hello. So why not? Okay, our campaigns have taken effect in the West. Let's go ahead and move on to the next market, the big market, the root cause. Lucifer, I appreciate you for that super chat. Thank you. You're the first one out of, we've had hundreds of people viewing today, and you're the first and only. Big shout out to you. Yes. All right, family, that's today's topic. As always, I want to promote us to be proactive. I want to promote us to, you know, think about the things that we're doing. And for those of us that are here on the continent, we need to be ready and poised for whatever. You know, not taking this stuff lightly, because it's not to be taken lightly. It's very serious. You know, the things that we do today determines the pace and the mode for tomorrow. If we let these things just casually come in and erase, you know, our way of life, that's exactly what's going to happen. Okay. So big shout out to the African Superstar family. Once again, guys, I'm going to put the link in for those of you guys. Listen, go put your vote into that. Let's take over. Let's bring it home for the African Superstar family. I've been nominated for the Best Emerging Female Vocalist of the Year because of my track, For Every Action, There's a Reaction. And we need to go ahead and bring it home for the family. Until we meet again, stay Black and true. If you ain't Black, just stay true.